Wendy, how are you? Hello, darling.
Mark, hello.
All right, how's it going?
Yeah. Oh well.
You staying safe and being alert? This is the question.
Not an action. Alert is not an action. It's not an action.
But you were on that beach at Southend with those crowds, weren't you? Not.
Well, I have a little walk there in the morning to get my coffee, and then I walk back, and it's pretty busy by 9. Not really busy, but there's a lot of people around. But you know, you can't blame them for wanting to be out. It's
Well, especially when the what do they call them? I don't know what's the word for them. Sappos, snaps, shops, or something.
shops.
Especially like spads. That's it, spads. What am I talking about? Talking rubbish. Especially when the spads flout the lockdown rules.
So what have you been up to today? By the way, everyone, this is Mark Wingett, wonderful, wonderful actor, Mark Wingett. What have you been up to today?
Lovely. Not a lot. It's a bit of a wasted journey, actually. I'm in the process of, not just me, but we are in the process of redesigning our garden, which is looking fabulous. So we've built a wall and planters, and we got this fantastic tree fern, a couple of days ago from, it's really funny because the gardening club in Cruise Hill is open, and it's been open for a while, but you have to join it. And because it sells food, it's classed as an essential service. So we've been sneaking up there and getting really interesting bags of manure and topsoil and plants and bits and pieces. So we thought we'd try a little bit closer to home. And there's I live in North London. The N1 Gardening Centre is just down the road from us. And it's been a few years since we've been there. So we tried to go there this afternoon, and the queues just made it impossible. And then it's one thing about this lockdown, isn't it? Is that your spontaneity is just destroyed. And I'd also ordered some stuff from Halford, so then I thought, but I hadn't got the confirmation text, so I thought, well, let's go up to Halford's and get the stuff, and went up there, and there was another 20 people outside, so we just drove home, really. I did speak to my fantastic thing, of course, is the social media. I did speak to my sister in Australia and my 2 nephews. My nephew Charlie's just turned 16 this week, which was fantastic, and that's wonderful because my mum and dad can join the call as well. So the family are online, which is amazing, actually.
Were you doing that before lockdown?
Yeah, this is no, we weren't actually. That's what's kind of brought us together, and that's an interesting thing, despite the frustrating thing that my father has and I'm sure we all have this, the technical problems, on Skype, because that's what he knows. It's like, Dad, just press that button, No, we can't see you. Oh, why am I in a little box in the corner? Dad, just press the button, So that's pretty, yeah. That takes about 30 minutes. Every week it's the same. So that takes about 30 minutes to get over, and then we can chat. And it's just lovely to see them, And I think it's the highlight of my parents' week because they're both sort of, well, my mother's on the at-risk list.
Mm.
So she's not been out at all for getting on for 3 months now, over 3 months. And that's just a lovely thing to do, that's great. So that was an hour. That's an hour gone from the day. I didn't sleep well last night. It's funny, isn't it? This kind of lockdown sleeping. Sometimes you sleep very well, and other times the worries of the world are on your shoulders.
Yeah. It was a particularly bad day for news yesterday as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Don't even start on this administration. It's just how they couldn't have cocked it up more.
That's true.
They really couldn't. They really couldn't have cocked it up more. Well, the tragedy is we don't really know the proper figures, and it's anything between 60,000 and 90,000 people we've lost during this coronavirus, depending on who you listen to. The official figures are 37,000 now, and it could be 3 times that.
And America's 100,000?
100, just past 100,000.
So we're not far behind them, no?
No, but what's their population? Is it 300 million? I can do the math, as the Americans say. I never understood that math. Why don't they say maths?
Why do they say
Why is it a faucet? It's like everything's simple. Sidewalk. It's not a pavement. It's a sidewalk because you walk on the side. You know.
I love it though.
Why is it a trunk? The trunk's at the front, isn't it? Not a boot.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's that about?
Math. I love it.
But no, I mean, it's there's a very interesting program on Channel 5, which was, I don't know if you saw, was it Channel 4? Was the country that beat the virus, talking about South Korea's approach to it. And they haven't locked down, they've not needed to.
Were schools still open?
Yeah, everything was open. Shops, everything was open because they did the contact tracing.
So is that what they've done differently? Pretty much.
That's exactly what we've done differently. But before the crisis, before they knew it was coming, they knew it was going to hit South Korea because of its proximity to China and international flights and things. And before it actually hit South Korea, the government got the 6 top pharmaceutical companies into a room and said, we want a test now. And they all went off and developed a test. The best one they chose was 90% efficient. They said, well, that's all right. We'll take that. Even if it's not 100% efficient, that's fine. You can work on it and we'll use this. So they used the test. They did testing and they used contact tracing and they did it through an app on their on their smartphones. And they managed to suppress the virus that way. When there was a flare-up, it's a very interesting program. It's the country that beat the virus, I think the name of it.
Can we still watch it?
I think you can. It might be on Channel 4, whatever their catch-up is. And they it was quite telling because they didn't actually have wasn't real criticism of our government, but they looked at each country's response day by day at what was happening, and left you to draw your own conclusions. You know, there was a flare-up in an office, and they knew immediately it was a flare-up. They knew somebody was infected, so they isolated 16,000 people who'd been contacted through that office and through the. And what they kind of realised was, because of the surveillance questions and government into your private lives and your privacy and tracking your movements, it was either privacy or death. And I know they have a different society there, and I know they're a very subservient society. Everybody serves in the national service. Everybody becomes a black belt in Taekwondo. But so it's a very, very regimented state. But everybody used the track and trace app that they developed, and they suppressed the virus so much they didn't have to shut any of the shops. No cafes were shut. Nothing was shut. There was no lockdown as such. The one problem they had, of course, was the church that had 3,000 members, where they had a flare-up, but they soon got on top of that and closed it down because they had the data, the information to handle the virus.
How long before our outbreak was theirs, and if their outbreak was sooner, why couldn't we get that kind of template for our?
I'm not sure. I think it was about 6 weeks.
Right, so it was ahead of us. So yeah, we could have learned from that then.
But then that's the thing about this particular administration and British exceptionalism, isn't it? We are and the whole ethos, the herd immunity before this crisis, the take it on the chin attitude, very British. Let's get this virus done. I remember him saying at one point.
And you might lose some of your loved ones.
We're all going to lose loved ones during this crisis. And well, here we are, figures approaching 40,000, official figures. Lockdown still here. You have SPADs flouting the rules. It's not great, is it? It's not great. It's been a total mess up. Our Prime Minister seems to be a very weak person, a person who cannot make up. He hasn't got a clue, has he? He's not got a clue. They rushed in with economic easing packages, which is probably, as a Conservative government, their main concern. And it was like the little, people's health can suffer as long as we save the economy, because that's more important than people.
And still is, right?
Well, still is. Of course it is, I mean, as we come out of this, what's going to happen? They're already talking about a depression, not even a recession, a depression, the like of we've not seen for 100 years or so. you know, what's going to happen? They're going to put the interest rates up to 9% to attract foreign. Brexit's happening, which is a nightmare because we know, everybody knows that Brexit is going to have an effect on the economy. I think Barnier offered him a 2-year extension to, you know, yesterday, and of course they're not going to take it.
I can't even compute it.
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're. Well, we all know what they're thinking. I don't care about the little people, really. No. They've run the NHS down for 10 years. The PPE is still a problem 9-10 weeks later.
Yeah, still
a problem. It's still a problem.
I get, like, my mates like Alan, do you know Alan Cohen, on Facebook, quoting from Animal Farm, all animals are equal and some are more equal than others.
Sure.
And that's Orwell's kind of prophecy.
That's Cummings' attitude, isn't it, really? You know, that's these are the rules. He made the rules. He still broke them, you know. What can you do? What can you do with this bunch of fools? There's nobody that's strong enough in the cabinet at the moment, because Boris has got rid of all the strong ones. He's surrounding himself by yes people. So there's nobody there with any experience.
Yeah.
It seems it's an insane situation. Because his ego won't let him, instead of getting a cross-party group together and solving this problem, of course, he's just barged ahead with what he thinks is best and take it on the chin. And
not listening to us. And what did he call it yesterday? A political ping pong or something.
Yeah, scoring political points. It's not, scoring party political points.
You're like, what?
So
how are you surviving artistically and emotionally? And
you know something, Wendy? And honestly, for 40 years I've been an actor like you. We started off very young. And the relief not to have to chase this game for 3 months has been a revelation, because there's nothing that you or I can do as regards our next employment, except maybe sort something out ourselves. So just to put it aside for a few months has been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I've done a couple of, like we've all done self-tapes and bits and pieces, but the whole world is going to go up for them.
Yeah.
It trickle down to us, then the whole of equity is going to be up for those parts, and whoever's going to choose it is, they're not even set when they're going to go filming, just to put it aside and just kind of take stock of what things are. It's been very, very interesting thing. Now, my daughter, who has just come into the profession after getting a master's degree, and decided, well, she is an actress, she is an actress, and here they come. Here she is. Say hello.
What timing? What timing?
Actress, that's it. I've just been out for a cycle. She was doing a show at the Camden Festival, which of course has been cancelled. But that's Sean.
Sorry.
I thought it was her coming back again. I thought.
What did the big circle?
Yeah.
Just keep circling in the background. But it looks like they're going to be doing it in October, which is fantastic. She's doing a one-woman show.
Wow.
So it's a show talking about what it's to be like to be a woman in the modern era.
What's it called, please, and where can we see it?
Jamilo, what's your show called? Alien, Hold On to Your Dreams. And where's it showing? Come in. Tell Wendy, she's got a cycling helmet on. This is. I'm not allowed to call her. This is my daughter.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Tell us about your show. Sorry, you probably need a drink if you've just been cycling.
So the show is called Alien, Hold On to Your Dreams. It was adapted from the show that I did for my MA at drama school. And it's all about sort of my experience as a mixed race woman in the film industry.